Client recently told me that in the first 2 weeks of working with us, it was more valuable than 2 years in working with their old agency. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do with this company. And why did this happen? It's because we made them stop thinking about marketing as a department and more as the heartbeat of their organization. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unearth with Shelly Hughes. I'm Shelly Hughes. In this podcast, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of building a profitable, passionate brand. We talk about the wins, losses, and most importantly, lessons learned about what it takes to build the business of your dreams. And this episode is all about how marketing isn't top of funnel. It's truly in every single touch point. And if you think that marketing lives in your social media posts, you're already losing. And so I wanted to open with this story with this recent client. Sorry, I have dog hair all over this mic because we're a dog-friendly office, and that's just what happens. We're sitting in that meeting, we're listening to him say these words: the 2 weeks with you have been more valuable than 2 years with them. And I ask why. And he says, you made me think about marketing differently. And that's the premise, right? Marketing isn't the thing you post at the top of your feed, right? It's not the pinned post. It's the feeling that people have both in your business and outside of your business at every single level of your business. And so let's get into this myth about marketing as kind of top of funnel. And here's the thing, to be honest, when we talk about, okay, how much should a company spend on their marketing? Many times we do go off of top of line revenue because from a sales perspective, that is the easiest thing to track, right? So it's 5 to 7 to 10% of top of line revenue is usually what we say that should go into marketing. However, too many businesses really treat marketing as kind of this external layer, kind of a promotion function, which it is. Don't get me wrong. They hire agencies for leads, ads, campaigns, all the things agencies are there for, but they never really align with the business and the story that's being sold. And so that's why I always say that we're the anti-agency agency, because I hate thinking about marketing that way. Any agency can run a campaign. Any agency can manage social media. They really can. And many of them can do it pretty well. But if your internal team doesn't believe in the message, your audience never will. And so I really think about marketing as unsiloing it so that it touches every single element of your business, internally and externally. And so the reason this client's brand wasn't working in the beginning is because every department was kind of speaking a different language. The salespeople were saying one thing, the customer service people were saying another thing, and they didn't have kind of a common ground on what their unique value proposition was, how they should be speaking, and they just kind of wung it. Marketing isn't a megaphone. It's a connective tissue between your purpose, your people, and your audience, your ideal audience. So let's talk about this internal alignment for a minute and talk about how that, from a marketing lens, can really be your differentiator. And it's so funny, people, I also hate when I say, oh, what's your differentiator? What sets you apart? And they say, oh, it's our people. It's like, okay, cool. What about your people? If your people leave, what's going to be your differentiator then? It can't be your people, right? Is it the culture? Is it, what? It can't be your people, because it shouldn't be your people, because, there are lots of layoffs happening. There's less and less loyalty to companies nowadays. But nevertheless, employees really need to live in your brand and not just recognize it. It's turning your employees from just employees to really brand ambassadors. And, if you're a receptionist, your sales lead, your CEO, they're all answering the question differently of what do we do and why does it matter? That's not a good sign. And you don't have a brand, you basically have a brochure. And so real marketing really starts with training your team to act, to talk, to decide an alignment of your values. And I just did an episode a couple weeks ago where I was out on a family emergency for about a week. And I got back and my team told me some of the decisions that they made without me. And I said, wow. Every single one of those decisions was very much aligned with the exact decision I would have made. And they were all based on our philosophy, our culture, our values, and how we do things. And so this isn't just about marketing, right? It's about just overall leadership in general. When you kind of encourage your team to wear your merchandise, wear your swag, memorize your value proposition, and embody it in client interactions. It's making marketing really an inside job first, not just this department over here that doesn't talk to sales or leadership or anything else. And so let's talk about the unsexy side of marketing, right? It's environments, it's systems, it's culture, it's all those types of things. One of our clients, their office was extremely outdated. And I understand why. It was a brand new office. He was building this business really from the ground up. It was launching and catapulting, and he was super busy. But the office was outdated, and it showed. And one thing that we talked to him about is how interior design is marketing. And I'm not calling us interior designers by any means, but I think it's our job as fractional CMOs and a marketing partner, not just a vendor, to not just look at the campaigns that are going out and the ads that are going out, but looking at the company as a whole and seeing how is the perception in every engagement, and not just employees, but the customers. So let's say employees. If an employee has to go to an office every single day, and it's dark and grungy and outdated, and there's nothing on the walls, and it's probably a little bit dirty. Are they going to be excited? Are they going to be motivated? Are they going to be passionate about going to work every single day? I mean, maybe for a little bit, but the inspiration is going to dwindle very, very quickly. And more importantly, maybe not more importantly, but equally as importantly, if a client comes into that office, what association are you making with your company in an office that looks like that? Every physical and digital touch point is a signal for both your employees and your customers and your prospects. And the way your space feels, the tone of your emails, the layout of your proposals, all of it tells a story of what kind of brand you are and how it's going to be like working with you. And so you can't tell me you're a modern premium company if your waiting room feels like a DMV. And that's kind of what it felt like. And so marketing is truly experience. It's not explained. You can sell your way through getting all these clients. But and here's the thing, it's all about relationships too, right? But if everything is the same and one person invites the client to your office and offers you really nice pastries and delicious coffee, and the office is really inspiring and motivating, and there's people walking around that are all dressed up nicely and they have smiles on their faces and they introduce themselves, versus a potential vendor or partner that has kind of a dingy office. Everyone's kind of wearing sweatpants. No one's really all that friendly. Who do you think that client is going to choose? Marketing is experienced. It's not explained. And so integrating that mindset for a sec, right? Great brands don't separate the customer experience, operations, and marketing. They unite all of them. And a cohesive customer journey means less friction to get that customer to the next step of the customer journey, and more trust, more valuable touch points, not just another retargeted ad. So my question is, when was the last time you walked through your own customer journey from your client's point of view, right? Because I've said this in an episode before, your customer journey is essentially a sales pipeline, but turned on its side and in the perspective of your ideal customer. And you might have different segments, but each segment has a different journey, most likely. And when's the last time you really walked through that client journey? Do you invite the client to your office, right? Or to have a meeting? If that's part of the journey, you better make sure that office is aligned with your branding and the premium feel that you want. It's worth the investment. If you do that, you'll find gaps. You'll find in what different steps of the journey is, number one, the most challenging hurdle for you right now in business. So maybe it's this discovery phase. People don't know you exist. You're gonna find but once they do know you exist, the rest of the journey, closing, propose, all that stuff is really easy. Maybe you have a super high close rate, but people just don't know you exist. That means that you can put more effort in that part of the journey. Let's say lots of people know you exist, your close rate or your retain and refer rate isn't that great. That's when you can look at, okay, let's look at your actual product, right? Is it doing what it's promising it's going to do? So when you find those gaps are where the money really leaks out. And that's where marketing isn't just about campaigns. It's about fewer disconnects and less friction. So, and as a fractional CMO, our fractional CMO team, our essentially part-time chief marketing officers, our job isn't to give clients tactics. It's to teach them how to think differently. I always say, if we're going to challenge you, if you're going to sign on the bottom, if you're going to sign this contract, that means you're open for us to challenge you in the way that you currently think. The brand is a gut feeling that people have when they think about you. And when leaders finally understand that, their whole approach to growth changes. They widen their view on what marketing is and why it's so important to invest in it. And the marketing becomes a mirror, right? It reflects how well your business is run internally. And some people don't like that because it lifts the skirt a little bit to what's happening behind the scenes. And so if your people are disorganized, disheveled, not really aligned, your message will be too. And so here's the thing. If your marketing feels off, if it's not turning an ROI, if you keep kind of pushing at top of funnel stuff and nothing is really coming from it, don't look at your Instagram feed. Look at your business, your people, your space, your systems. That's where your brand truly lives. And marketing isn't about what you tell the world. It's about what the world feels when they interact with you. That's my soapbox for today. I believe in this so deeply, and it's why we are a fractional CMO firm. It's why we're the anti-agency agency. It's why I didn't just want to build another agency that honestly people don't want to work at and people don't want to work with, because there's so many gaps in what people call agency that I just naturally knew that we could fill. And this is my manifesto to that. If you like this episode, if you appreciate this episode, please send this to people that you think it would benefit from it, and rate, review. It really helps get these episodes into more people's earbuds. And we'll see you next week.